digital haze. Jake and Cody call the plays. Blood on the canvas, sweat in the air. Survivor Series chaos everywhere. War games breaking the walls. Steel cages and battle calls. Into somewhere we dive into the fire. Jake and Cody light the pyre. Into somewhere, chaos to review. War games screaming. What's next to do? Bodies collide like thunder's wrath. Tables shatter in the aftermath. Heroes rise, villains take their fall. WWE writes it all on the wall. Ladders crash, chairs collide. Every move they can hide. Into somewhere we dive into the fire. Jake and Cody light the pyre. Into somewhere, chaos to review. War games screaming. What's next to do? War games! When the bell rings and the lights go low, there's a man you need to know. Breaking down the ropes and shows. He's the king of the wrestling pros. From suplex dreams to body slams, he's got the mic, he's got the plan. I believe in Cody.
In the somewhere where we break it down. CM Punk, John Cena tearing up the town. Broke half on fire, no one spit it better. Reviewing like a beast, no one does it clever. Yeah, we cut up in Toronto, elimination chamber. Steel cage set, it's cutthroat behavior. Just Jake on the mic, spaz up in the
What's
dome.
going
If your
on,
game's so
ladies and
tight, call it
gents?
YouTube home.
Into somewhere.
Breaking it down.
Update. It's Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. How the hell are we doing, folks? Happy to see you all today. Looking fly, thanks to Liz. Hanging in there. Still not feeling great. It's miserable outside, and it feels like Raw brought the end of the world with the way everybody's reacting on Twitter, but was not a great show last night. A lot of disappointments, and you and I booked into the illogical, but there's still some things we didn't get into. And that is indeed my hetero life mate, the one, the only, Cody O'Needy, 316.
What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Let's make an illogical show. So we're not into somewhere anymore. We're another podcast, right? We're
Yeah.
like different characters.
All negative. I'm telling you. We set out watching Raw. I tried to be positive. I really did. I just couldn't get through it. TKO, what they've allowed to transpire, the things that they've done. We've seen the writing on the wall for a while now. We knew what we were getting from them, the increase in ticket prices, the reliance on moments over storytelling, the heavy push of advertising commercials and constant in-your-face advertisements. It's just It's the epitome of greed at this point. It really is. And the biggest sign should have been when they moved WrestleMania, because they didn't do it for any logistical issue. There was no location problem. There was no tourism board, breathing down their necks. It was strictly money. They want their money, Cody. They were made more in Vegas than they will in New Orleans. Cha-ching. That's what it comes down to. And you wonder why people are at this point. We're down to one. We are down to our final John Cena match. That is what we have left. He can't appear on Raw or SmackDown or anything else as like a goodbye. He has this date left, and he is being terminated. Erased. Best part. You look at the year and the way they laid it out. We had a set amount of dates, so already it felt concise in a way, but limited, very limited in scope. I wish they never told us the amount of dates they were going to have. I get why they did with the heel turn. That's it, and then I'm gone. Yeah, but for the face stuff, it ruined a lot of it. So they had Cena go heel, not because the story advanced in such a way, not because of things they had planned to book, but for a viral moment. And it was. They got all of us hook, line, and sinker. We got comparisons. Is this bigger than Hogan's NWO turn? Is this the biggest heel turn ever? People wanted to know. Yeah. And in that moment, in that bubble, in that time capsule of a second, it felt like it. It really did. And then they didn't follow up on it. They took 2 weeks away, so 3 weeks it took to get a response. And what did we get? You people. When the entire year had been people throwing praise, love, and adulation onto Cena like no other, supporting him every step of the way. They wanted to see him get that number 17. So none of his heel motives line up with anything. Then, obviously, we had quite a few bad matches during the heel run because of the way the storytelling had to be. It was bad with Cody. The Orton match was not great. The R-Truth match was piss poor of quality. He then did some tag work with Logan, which was... And, we kind of had nothing till we got to that banger at SummerSlam. But since then, think about what we've gotten. We had that match with Logan. All right. He already did stuff with Logan. Got the match with AJ. And that was phenomenal. It was. It nodded a tip of the hat. It tipped our cap to everybody to make sure that they knew, hey, we appreciate all you've done for Cena's career, my career. Let's make the best of it. But they wouldn't let him have his last PLE in his hometown. They couldn't dedicate an entire PLE to John Cena. Why do we not have a special event in December called The Last Time Is Now, or whatever they want to call it? That culminates the tournament. It culminates John Cena's #1 contender tournament. It's giving everybody chances and new talent. Why they're not going to let him retire in his hometown? They ended up doing the last Raw there. They're doing his retirement on Saturday night's main event, which has been a lifeless, boring, commercial inundated show.
Because he said January through December.
He decided when he would be done.
When he originally promised this, he said like full time.
Yes. And that's what we got from him compared to other part-timers, like compared to Roman or anything. I mean, John was there for a lot of it. So
every PLE, yeah.
So John stuck on Saturday night's main event, which is on Peacock, which as of today no longer holds any of the WWE, ECW, or WCW library. So you have no reason to tune into Peacock except for one more Saturday night's main event. They have us
got
paying.
Rid of the library?
Yep. Due to rights, they are removing the library over on that.
Do they still have the SmackDown library?
No, they're going to have none of the WWE stuff on Peacock, from what I was reading.
people say, "Oh, the WWE Vault channel, that's a great creation," but on Peacock, they used to have the raw entirety of library, like every episode ever, every episode of SmackDown, every PLE, everything. So, what is good about the WWE Vault when we had better before?
So not today. Today ends the licensing deal. It'll be off the network December 31st, 2025. So when we go into New Year's 2026, it'll all be gone. So yeah, they're saying that everything on Peacock ends the licensing deals that made thousands upon thousands of hours easily available. WWE owns the rights in Eclipse, so they're continuing to add to the YouTube, but it's basically now you have nowhere to go to watch the entire library. And that was like the biggest draw to the WWE network for
Where's
me.
the library going to go? Because like
YouTube?
the issue with the Monday Night Raw, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like
because things are uploaded out of
issue, like,
order and you
before.
can't tell where you are in stories and events and timelines because they're uploading from 2001, 96, 99.
but why though? The
87.
WWE Vault isn't good. The WWE Vault is not good because they used to have the entire Raw catalog, every episode of Raw ever.
So now their vault, literal vault, is amazing. They have like Smoky Mountain and a lot of Memphis stuff, AWA. They have things that people have no access or readily available to. And sadly,
But stuff that they release, like the John Cena, Shawn Michaels Monday Night Raw match, you could check that out on Peacock. Like,
Yeah.
why?
because YouTube's a
they
different
gonna find a
platform,
deal?
more accessible.
Are they gonna?
I don't know. It's basically from now. It says they're going to persist uploading clips on YouTube, and it's basically
Sorry,
adding
that's stupid.
uncertainty
That's
amid
actually-
changes like Raw on Netflix
I know
and future
people are
events on
excited
ESPN.
But that's just a downgrade from what people had before.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But they're charging you $30 a month now. You have to pay $30 a month to watch the PLE. So you're
it should
paying for
come with
Peacock.
like the Raw catalog, the SmackDown catalog. They should come with everything.
I don't know if ESPN is going to get the library. Like ESPN paid $1.6 billion. You know what I mean? To get WWE for the premium live events. But are they getting the video library? So there's no definitive answer on that. Fightful Select said WWE may use its strong relationship with Google and YouTube to push its archive content there. One source mentioned they see it as a way to hook new fans while keeping flexibility if a massive outside offer comes in. So they're going to upload to YouTube for now, and then if it presents itself, they can move to another platform. So in the meantime, we only have clips and whatever episodes they've uploaded, and that's all out of context, out of order, and not easily searchable like it was on Peacock. No, the network didn't have a great search feature, but it definitely had a good and alive, active library. There was a lot of good there to enjoy, and I've really tried to not just come. I like to look at the positive. I want to come on here, entertain, and then have you guys walk away being like, oh yeah, he made a few good points, but he made me laugh. Like that's really my goal. It's never really about the review itself. My opinion in the grand scheme of things, Cody's, don't matter shit, right?
Yeah,
So we say I believe in Cody O'Needy.
your opinions, according to some, are
Irrelevant.
From Mania talk to rumble roars.
because
get it, though.
everything's happy and go lucky with some.
Yeah, and I'm not even calling anybody out. My point is, though, I've always tried to be as realistically honest as possible. If we like something, we like it. We don't, we call it out. But we give praise when things are good as well as criticism when it's bad. We're not trying to just be negative. We're trying to say, hey,
Yeah.
what if they do this and then? You know, a little bit of that improv magic. And then zip, zap, zoom.
Right.
I look at all of the things they ruined the John Cena turn. They move Vegas. We're having an international mania finally after decades of fans begging, and it's not at the O2. It's not it's in Riyadh. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Riyadh.
I mean, just with all of this, TKO doesn't respect WWE's workers, and we're not talking about just the independent contractor situation, because WWE provides its wrestlers. They say ever since they came out with TKO's independent contractor, in order to avoid paying for a variety of basic benefits that you would get in a job, they said that, WWE wrestlers are now forced to pay a 15% self-employment tax that I guess WWE had paid for them beforehand. WWE wrestlers are independent contractors, and WWE imposes strict limitations on their ability to earn money outside of WWE events. Now, it used to be that you could go and earn money and do things. Now, we know they limited Twitch and a few other things like that. That's since been scrapped. But beforehand, you at least were able to take outside deals and sponsors. Now, the only way that happens is if they're working with WWE, and then they request you. And this has repercussions, not just by hurting WWE, but wrestling as a whole. WWE being hot and popular and doing better, it helped AEW, it helped TNA. TNA today announces their TV deal with AMC, which is great. That's massive for TNA. It's what they need, because they had their biggest show of the year at Bound for Glory, and then they took a month off.
Yeah.
They did nothing for a whole month.
None.
They come back with a live show.
Ooh, comeback.
Yeah, unannounced and no card given, and they take away the title from the newly crowned world champion with a shitty cash in and an assault attack. It's lull TNA. So there's a lot of things that make me nervous, make me worried, make me auspicious. They had Jeff Hardy,
TNA.
and Joe Hendricks. They're singing
right here. Listen,
in an empty arena.
Push. No, LOL TNA, like the LOL Mets, like that's the comparison. The TNA is the Mets of wrestling, and we're not making that comparison. You're not saying LOL TNA. Thank you.
Yeah. The library for WWE should absolutely have been part of the ESPN deal there. Makes no sense as to how you pay $1.625. That's what I'm saying. $1.625 billion, and all you get are the PLEs that people weren't even paying for because they were on Peacock.
The Raw library should be with Netflix. I don't understand.
Oh, yeah. Netflix really should have the entire library. You figure when they got that deal, $5 billion.
Because they removed it off Peacock, and then like you would think that you would transfer it over.
You made my point for me, bud, because I was going to say, so ESPN gets basically boo-fooed with a $1.6 billion deal because they were screwed from the get-go. WWE is not like AEW. They have not charged fans pay-per-view costs in what? A decade almost now?
Yeah.
Over? It was WrestleMania 30 where the network started for $9.99 a month.
At least with this, like it's not even as bad. $30 a month, you get ESPN and Disney Plus.
Well,
so you get
yes, there's more to it because you have to have a certain tier to get the WWE stuff
or some
unlocked.
get it for free if like you got you. I heard YouTube TV and ESPN reached a deal on it.
But still, if you don't already have ESPN, if it's not something that you already want or are attracted to, if you're just a WWE avid watcher, you want to watch the PLEs, you now are indoctrinated to give money to Disney. You are now forced to go ahead and you do not have a choice.
Vince would have if Raw went to Netflix, like you know how he eventually they eventually got SmackDown back to the USA. I think Vince would have eventually put everything in one place. Like if
that was
Raw
the
was
goal.
going to Netflix, I think everyone would have everything. Like PLEs would have went to Netflix. I think SmackDown would have went to Netflix. I think everything would have just been Netflix exclusive.
How they didn't have the forethought or the hindsight to realize that announcing we're going from a very either A, inexpensive or B, mostly free model. Barely anybody paid for Peacock. If they did, it was like a $4.99. No, it came with but it came for free with Xfinity for me with the internet.
Mine too, yeah.
So I never paid for WWE content for the last 5 years since 2020. I had no problem paying $10 a month for the network because of all it came with, custom content and the entire library that they had uploaded at that point. And then It made a total no-brainer because pay-per-views, $50, $60, $70 if you're looking at Mania.
I don't want to forget about this
$10.
topic. Speaking about paying about money, you want to talk about what Lana, CJ Pear,
Yes,
whatever you like to call it nowadays said?
absolutely. Getting into that as well. Please, fill us in.
So, like, here's what Lana said. I'm kind of mixed on it because, like, I'm broke and I have to find ways to just get to these shows, and you got to go and complain about
Yeah. I
have
mean,
to pay. So Lana says this. She said that she's had to buy tickets for every WWE show she attends. Notes that it's a TKO change. I think that it's all TKO. When it comes to TKO, a lot of these changes, like you have to buy tickets, everyone has to buy tickets. Liv had to go and get all of her whole family and friends tickets to everything.
heaven
My
forbid.
husband had to buy it to bring me to WrestleMania.
Milo
It was
agrees.
$5,000. Had to buy for the suite, and it's all TKO. This isn't Hunter. This isn't Bruce. I don't have a problem paying for tickets because I believe in these people. I believe in Liv Morgan. Of course, I'm gonna buy a ticket for her return. I love her. I love wrestling in general. Of course, we're gonna go see Miro. He's had to buy tickets numerous amount of times for me. Every time I've gone to see Rusev, he's bought the ticket. Every
Yeah.
time I've went to see Liv, she's bought the ticket for her.
She looks at it as an
friends,
investment.
me,
Yeah.
and family.
She's like, I'm
So
going to
what do you
invest
think?
in them and believe in general if we have to. If you're talent or if you just believe in yourself, I know it's a little crazy that we have to pay for it, but just reverse my brain. And so she's not so much saying she cares about paying the money. It's the principle that I'm this man's wife and her best friend. I'm their main support. And WWE does not allow anyone to get comp tickets really anymore. It's basically not happening. They have celebrities and Netflix stars they have to, trudge out. And even the biggest sign of that and the way it worked was Shane McMahon getting his tickets with his son for John's final Raw. And they didn't acknowledge that he was in the arena. They didn't, nothing.
No.
That
here's my take on
spoke
it, though, like-
volumes.
Why even bring it up? Like, pay for your tickets like everyone else has to. I mean,
I
don't
think
it
she's
should be
trying
a
to
news
show
story
the
whatsoever.
dichotomy of like the corporate greed of like Vince was a head shitting, bad boss in those regards, but he did care about families. He cared about family values and he cared about providing entertainment. TKO have lost or never had those morals, and their main focus is just greed.
I understand that, but like
They should be paying for
if
the
you're gonna
tickets.
go, if
All
you're gonna
right,
go,
fine.
go in
We
that
have
price,
to.
if you're gonna go in that price, like she doesn't work for WWE, she could easily say, well, and like complain about ticket prices for everyone, right? But
Yeah.
it's like me.
Yes, she
Like,
tried to make it sound.
live.
Tried to make it
Like-
sound like, hey, we're upset. I don't mind paying, but we shouldn't have to. It is the message,
But
and
we
I
see-
get it, but
We see Liv every few weeks go on these like sneaker shows and pay like $30,000 for a bunch of shoes.
yeah.
Come on.
I mean,
I'm
how
sorry.
are you supposed to be behind them on that? WWE content should all be on one platform, and they can't
Like,
get
I don't
that
care what
right.
people do with their money, but we're gonna go and say we have to buy a ticket. Like, that's not gonna affect them whatsoever.
No.
If you have enough money to go spend $30,000 every few weeks on shoes, then you have enough money to go buy your family tickets. Like, I'm not saying it's right either. TKO is morally wrong about this. But
Yeah.
like,
But they're not doing comp tickets like they used to. They're not handing them out. And it just shows, again, because in their mind, that's tickets we could sell to make money. Because the reason they want to have these sellouts is that then they can go to advertisers and say, look what we did. Doesn't matter that no one enjoyed War Games as much as they hyped it up to be. They get to go and say, we had the biggest Survivor Series, biggest of all time. The most people, we got 45,000 people in that arena. We packed our stadium, we packed it in, and it was the biggest gross and record breaking and blah. That's all they care about. They could have had Brock Lesnar come out and shit on Jey Uso's chest. They wouldn't have cared because they made record-breaking money. They don't care. Look how many views we got. Look at how viral this is. They have been more focused on Liv and the numbers she got for coming back than the story of why she's back.
You know what's funny though? Like when it comes to positive things, like they tout social media numbers when they get that bad social media engagement that is like as good of numbers, but about negative situations, they'll be like, who cares about social media? Social media isn't our audience.
Absolutely.
Like, but then you're gonna go. So you're just saying it's just random people just viewing your shit. So you should just acknowledge it as your audience altogether, then, because you contradict yourself when you put it in a positive light. But when it comes to people critiquing your product, Sesame Street, Levesque, you run into a contradiction and hypocrisy. I'm sorry.
Big time. And as we mentioned with TKO, I mean, it's about a monopolization for them.
Again, please let me specify. You want to go clip this and send it to Lana and Liv Morgan? Go ahead. I don't give a fuck. But TKO shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, maybe you should get comp tickets, but like at the same time, stop complaining. There shouldn't even be a news article again.
No, it shouldn't. That's the problem here.
They're millionaires.
She's not complaining on the side of the fans being like, oh, TKO is charging too much money. She's saying they shouldn't charge me because. So people have a hard time getting behind that sentiment. So she's not wrong in what she's saying, but the delivery was piss poor. And she had a severe lapse in her judgment. TNA is expected to have this rights deal finalized around $30 million. And we look at it all, but it's, again, under the thumb of WWE. WWE didn't buy them, but they knew that, hey, we'll help get them a TV deal. Like, all of this is in a not direct, more roundabout way to fuck over AEW. Like, that's what it comes down to. Why did they have this sudden focus and hate boner for AEW? Because of TKO. It's not, Triple H could have had these type of things years ago with the counter booking and all that. I think it's always
going to be the situation, because Vince used to do this with WCW or any promoter. Like, it's not just they're doing it to the AEW. Let's get behind AEW and defend them at all costs. This isn't, AEW isn't a victim here. It's business.
No. They've had them as competition, but they didn't view AEW as competition, really, I feel like, until this year. And it's not because they're competition. No,
like, AEW is like failing so much that they're trying to stomp that final hole in the ground.
I think that's part of it, but it's also because they're
on
not,
their last leg. So
they're not falling in line.
Just wants to break it.
That's what it is. It's less about immediately destroying them and more about breaking you down slowly and being like, see, you didn't do it with us. You didn't join TKO. You're not in the right side of this war. And the more they needle and poke and do things, the counter booking, the added shows, WrestlePalooza, all of those things, it just shows, like with TNA, we have you under our thumb. We have you under our control. You're going to do our say-so. Basically how they came in with this random mid-card attack angle, and you're going to do this, and TNA is in a place where, well, they can't say no to WWE now, can they? I mean, the reason why TNA is doing so well, not just because they've been consistent about putting on, for the most part, a good product, but it's because of the exposure they've had with NXT and WWE and so on. So there is a 60-day termination clause, but January 15, 2026 is the launch date on AMC Networks, the home of Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead and so many more iconic movies and shows. So it's a very good deal. It's a good network. It's not like Travel America or some, Destination America or whatever it was. It's a good deal for them, but I feel like it's a deal they kind of had to do with the devil, knowing that WWE was the catalyst to get them there. And I'm worried they feel indentured to TKO. It's hurting, like we said, the wrestlers, they would all have to agree unanimously to fight for a union. You'll never see that. There's always going to be one wrestler that they can get into their head and be like, oh, your family needs the money, you need your house, you need your... There's a way to control people financially forever. You're never going to, they shouldn't be, any of this, as we usually say, independent contractors. It's bullshit. They should be contributing to Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, time off, taking care of the self-employment tax, limiting where they can make money elsewhere. I mean, it just goes on and on. TKO is already making billions of dollars as is. And with no hesitation or stopping in sight.
I can't wait until I get this PC because I'm getting like no caller ID calls right now. Shit you not.
All right. You're getting blown up over there. No, I figured they blew up my Twitter inbox, but I can only see that I'm getting messages. It won't let me reply to anything funny. I
need
don't
to turn off Twitter calls because
yeah,
I forgot you can call on Twitter now.
Right. Gotta love the availability for that. They're thinking outside the box with Twitter phone calls.
How'd I get my number? Like no caller ID?
Yeah. Hey, they have their ways. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, everything they did to John and that they wouldn't do for him, but you have Triple H out there talking about how it's an honor to watch you. I'm honored to see you. Yes, Sir Jeremy, you are absolutely right, as well as the enemy designed in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out. TKO missed the opportunity to include all WWE content with the Paramount deal. They've had so many opportunities. I don't think they want it all under one house. They want to spread it out. And as much as that's more difficult for the fans, they don't care because to them, it broadens their portfolio. They get to go to advertising companies and say, look how many views and impressions we got. Look at how viral we are. Don't look at the fact we're only getting, around 2 million people watching Raw each week. Look at the numbers online. Yeah. So we found out that not that they got sold a bill of goods that was bullshit, but since they've changed the Nielsen ratings operations and how they handle them and what way they count things, we've seen drastically reduced reportings in viewership for wrestling. We don't know if that is, everything or not. And yeah, 2 million is a great deal on Netflix. That's a lot of people, but they make it sound like they have a global audience of like 100 million strong because they get 50 million impressions on this post. And it's like, well, Liv is wearing 2 bras and jeans. The fuck did you think was going to happen? The Gooners are everywhere. Of course they are. We got Gooner T, I like it. I got to pop my neck.
You think it's because of how she dressed rather than her name, or what do you think there?
No, it's just how they can cash in. Like you said, Shill T instead of Booker T because they can do no wrong. I like it. But yeah, we're at the state now where we're seeing it more and more. They have still a really dedicated and healthy audience. But the constant, and it happened to Tony as well. And it did. We saw it. I have an announcement this week. Blockbuster major announcement started when he signed Christian. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, how can I not?
And then from there, he just had announcement after announcement.
If you heard that, saw the AEW roster attack a fan one, I was that guy. Mm-hmm. Remember, Jake?
I know. That's why I brought that up in stride. You remember, right? They gave you so much shit.
How can I? Yeah.
Because we were not.
Hardy shit on me, Tony Khan.
We don't know what real wrestling is. You're not a real fan.
Maybe. No.
Because they built it up like John Cena was coming to AEW and it ended up being Christian. Not that Christian isn't great. Yeah. Not that but at that time too, it was face Christian. He didn't do this great heel work yet. Like there was just, and the story was ridiculous.
Baker, yep.
And they pretty much did nothing with him for over a year until they let him get the TNA title from Kenny Omega because they needed to find a way to give it back to TNA. So they let him win just the TNA title and then he had to go drop it to TNA.
I know, behind the scenes, Dom and Liv, I think, are mad at the show, but AEW, though, why do they publicly just join as an army to attack a fan? I want to know the immaturity of their. I think it's more, like I said, the mentality of the fan base at this point in time. The zeitgeist and the common beliefs and everything that they feel is forced upon them. My breakdown, this is my own personal opinion, no one else's opinion. Hear me out here, but opinion. Yeah. I feel like the issue with AEW right now
one of, I mean, there's many issues, but the real issue with that side of the fandom is that they are broadcasted to and spoken to like they are constantly under attack. Tony has it like, we got to fight back. We got to go against the evil WWE trying to take us down. Whether that's true or not, I feel like he's mobilizing his fans. You know, he's turning them into an army, and it gives people this toxic mindset of any opposite thought is just that, opposition, and they have to be taken out accordingly.
Right.
It's like I said, it's like a hive mind in a sense, but anyone that can't say like Blood and Guts was better than more, you're gonna get a flurry of shit because they feel like, oh, you're attacking our company, you're attacking what we like, and what we like is different from what you like, so you just can't accept it. And it's like, no, I watched it as well. Dynamite was good last week. You know, the week before with Blood and Guts was a bit of a miss for me personally. That's because I'm a stickler about rules and screwy shit. I mean,
Like, what would you say your biggest issue was with Blood and Guts, son?
Really getting out of the damn cage and fighting once the match, you know, you shouldn't get out of it at all. But granted, like all of that, the lack of authority or rules in there. Oh, but Lesnar and Roman did
There
it.
should be the surrender rule. Like, Lesnar and Roman did it. Like, well, okay, finish your thought.
Well, Lesnar and Roman did it. They fought around the ring, right? So they did the same thing, but then they ended up back in the cage, and the cage was locked, and the match resumed. Like no one was escaping. They had people fighting on top of the cage for no reason, outside of the cage. They escaped when the match beyond had already begun, and then the overuse of blood made it feel forgettable. There were many spots.
I don't mind the blood in this scenario if they didn't do it all the time in every other match, because then we saw it in their one-on-one matches at a week later at their pay-per-view. But like, I'm not going to complain about blood in a match that's called Blood and Guts.
Right. I mean, yes, it is silly to be. It's just the fact of like everybody's bleeding. It's hard to pick apart spots,
that's meaningless when it happens all the time.
Yes, I have no problem with blood and gore, and I actually watched one of my wife's patients today have her brain tumor removed. I got to see the whole surgery video afterwards. Holy shit, that was incredible. Kind of an idea of what I had to go through, and being able to see like how the blood vessels flow blood through the tumor and everything. It's incredible what they have for like my chart stuff for patients nowadays, and that the availability of your records and being able to see these videos and all that stuff. It's incredible. I wish I could show it, but HIPAA. Granted, gross everybody out in about half a second. I don't mind gore. That's not it. I just like things to make sense. I came in and I've tried to be more positive on Raw in the last few weeks, and all right, they paused a bunch of the storylines because they have to push War Games, and that was our big complaint. Why does there need to be 2 War Games? Why does War Games have to be every Survivor Series? Why does it have to be a guaranteed thing? Well, I'll tell you why. Because TKO just broke every fucking record they have. They're calling us all dumb over and over because they had 45,000 people and the biggest gate in Survivor Series history.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether the show was good or not, or whether we liked the War Games matches or not. They got what they wanted. They got their few. If you notice, the main takeaways from that match happened after the match anyways. It was, Roman helping Punk and then not helping Cody, saying that's the last time we teamed together. Why?
Right.
Why now? You guys teamed up as just a two-on-two tag team at Bad Blood last year to take on Jacob and Solo. Like, why now is it? You've always had that eye to eye, like, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we have a common enemy. So no one of the fandom is screaming to have match 3 between Cody and Roman. We want to see different things, new things. That's why people were excited about Braun Breaker making this ascent. That's why they like Javon Evans getting pushed the way he is. We like seeing changes, something different, something new, something exciting. And they're so reluctant to do these different things because it goes against their current mentality, and that is money above all else. We've seen it with the fans. We've seen it with the way they break things down. it's been disappointing. And John tweeted out, like he said, there's 1 second on the clock, one match remains. This is what we got left with Cena. And
so what do you think? Do you think that this is better off, speaking about Cena, like, do you think it's better off without it being for the IC title?
yeah, absolutely. The IC title was used as a make good for John. And the fact that a lot of this, gave him a story to work towards in the latter month. And hey, it was fun, but it was a 3-week concise open shut case.
Yeah.
He won the title, then he lost the title. That was it. So John's last final matches is Dom, Judgment Day, Dom, and all 3 of those were not like the AJ or Logan match. They weren't anything to do with wrestling merits. It was all sports entertainment, and they were entertaining.
So was AJ and Cena, to be fair.
It was, but I feel like that was more
I
of
don't know
a.
it was a spot fest.
It was, but it was done in the way of a tribute, and I feel like if they wrestled that way every time,
I don't mind that though either. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah. But if they wrestled like that always, then I'd be like, oh god, they're using every people's finishers. But knowing what this was and how it's going to be their last time facing each other. AJ's on his way out, John's leaving, and we're going to pay homage and respect to people that have come before and after us.
Got to pick your brain here then. Who's Cena's overall better rival, CM Punk or AJ Styles?
I would say Punk. Punk's the more memorable.
I would say it's more iconic too, and like their matches meet like the quality of AJ Styles and Cena. And like I don't think, no offense to Styles, matches yes, but I don't think the overall rivalry and story is as iconic as what was done with Punk and John.
Yeah, I mean, the AJ match was definitely the 2 of them spamming specials and finishers the entire time, but under the guise of doing so as a dedication. So I didn't hate it,
which is fair.
Really.
But I think the overbooking of the Survivor Series match also made sense.
It made sense. It's not that it wasn't logical, but there was better ways to handle it. It's a situation they shouldn't have been in to begin with.
Well, if they were bringing Liv Morgan back early, that was the next best place to bring her back, right?
Was the next best place. I just don't know if it was the best way. The way they did it was decent. People were happy to see her return, but it's just like she's back, like she never left.
A big moment for her. Like she's the last woman to ever do something with John Cena.
It's huge.
Ring, so.
I just think they could have probably done it a few different ways to make it seem a little bit more better planned and a bit more entertaining. And that's kind of the issue with this.
They booked it right on how he lost because he just couldn't catch a break from anyone.
Yeah.
He just had to.
And John can survive taking losses. But this year, 2025, to me, has felt like TKO doing the opposite of what fans have asked for. There's kind of this growing sentiment of people being tired of Jey Uso, and that's been
a heel turn.
Yeah,
and the obvious 2 matches. Like, what's your issue overall with the retirement tour? Because for the most part, all the matches have been good. The Randy Orton Cena match was good.
It was okay. It wasn't great. I don't think it was great, really, and the ending really kind of. I wasn't overbooked. Yeah, overbooked scenario.
And that's what you had to do. That's what you had to do, though. Like, I think with them.
I think heel John could have beat
a 5-star.
I think they could have had a damn good match with a little bit of story stuff involved, but the R-Truth stuff and making it that.
I think that was their action. I think that might have been their best match ever with each other, though.
I don't think that's true in my case. And it was also a change in dynamic because John was the heel, Randy was the face. So coming at it from that angle, maybe. But yeah, like I said, with Liv, she's presented like a huge deal. She felt important. It's not bad. It's just it could be better. And now we have all this time with her. And like you said, her interacting last with Cena.
I'm going to give you you go ahead first, and I'll.
Yeah,
get to my
her
point.
being illogical with Cena is not the biggest deal. Hey, it works. They got their shit. She helped Dom get in, get out. It's a great accolade for her.
It probably means a lot to her because she
Yeah.
idolizes Cena so much.
It just feels like they didn't know what to do with the story yet. So it's like, we need to bring her back for that moment, and we'll
Like,
figure
you
the
can
rest
read
out
facial
afterwards.
You could just tell how happy she was to share a moment with Cena.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I said, the rest of it
Like
feels
that.
like we'll figure it out afterwards. And that was kind of the thing with Cena. Every step felt like they were just doing it on the fly. And
But speaking about her return,
yeah.
okay, so what? Remember, everyone told us like when she returns, this Judgment Day thing advanced so much. It's going to be nuclear advancements.
Yes,
So
they're
tell
going to
me
break
how
up
much
and dissolve, and or it'll be this massive story that happens in one night. And you and I are like, if she comes back at this point, it'll lead to her eventually being a face. But if she comes back at the Rumble, then it's just an instant go. With this, now I'm a little worried because of the time that's left. Are they gonna give her the title match on January 5th, like we've been hearing for the Netflix anniversary show?
So last
yeah.
night, tell me like what you felt like advanced the Judgment Day storyline. I honestly think they went backwards.
Yeah, I do too, because they just put her back where she was before she got injured, and where that was about to be replaced by Roxanne. So they're saying,
Yeah.
no, she wasn't replaced. Yeah, she was. Roxanne was the new partner for Raquel. I'm not saying in a bad way. She replaced her, and now hey, Liv's back.
They
but
intentionally like Raquel was like, I can't do anything without like Roxanne by my side. She's the best tag team partner in the world.
yeah,
Not acknowledging Liv's existence at all.
for a
She didn't
long
acknowledge,
time,
like
everything
I
that
don't
Dom
miss
did
Liv.
with
It was all about
Roxanne,
Roxanne now.
Finn talking badly about Liv and making his comments, and then them saying
And
shit about
Raquel
Dom.
calling
You've seen all this.
Dom a habitual cheater.
Yeah.
And then she's just fine with all this. I know she might be playing them, but like no acknowledgement, like
Yeah,
Raquel.
there was no
So
tense.
what was this about?
Exactly.
How you talk to Dom?
She tried to make Dom sweat a little bit with the slap, but besides that, she jumps in his arms and that's it. It's
I
over.
think it's supposed to be a kink thing now. Is that their new thing? It's
I
just gonna
kind of
like, she
hope
slaps
not.
him and he smiles and likes it.
Honestly,
You see how he
the
just
way
like,
I
oh,
took it,
he said it when she slapped him. He's like, "Oh, I like that." So I think it's some new like.
it could be, but
Think they got going
maybe it's kind of a funny inside thing. Hey, who knows? We can have
There could be an
power
inside
slap.
joke with them about that. They're friends in real life.
I kind of took it because she comes out, she slaps him, and then she starts going into the story. And at the very beginning, she was kind of criticizing Judgment Day a little bit. You know, you lost your gold, you lost matches, blah, blah, blah. But then she's like, but now we're back to take over and we're going to be in charge of Monday Night Raw.
Basically,
Yay.
there's their generic shtick that they've had for what Judgment Day is coming for the gold.
Yeah.
Judgment Day wants all the gold. Like this is what they did with the Damian Rhea Dom era.
I want to say that they're smart enough to be like, oh, well, we're going to have Liv give Raquel and Roxanne the tag titles, you know, a chance to go after those while she goes after the main title. That's why she was like, no, you keep it. But I tend to think the no, you keep the belt thing is more in line with her getting revenge on Judgment Day.
This is what like Randy Orton did because Seth Rollins tried to like offer Randy Orton things and he's like, nah, man, it's all you, buddy. Like, I think this is like the same kind of vibe. I don't know if you catch that or not.
Yeah, it has
Like,
that feeling to it.
The Authority did Randy Orton dirty. Then Randy Orton returns and now
And
Randy
everything
Orton
was
like,
fine.
everything's cool,
Bullet Club
like,
is
everything's-
fine. Yeah.
Like Randy Orton was like, yeah, we're cool, man. And then Seth was trying to be on Randy's good side, like extra now. And then Seth tried to offer Randy things, and Randy Orton, it was just like, nah, Seth, this is all about you, man. Yeah, you're the man. You're the guy.
You're the guy. You got it. Exactly.
That's
So,
how Liv is being with Raquel and Roxanne. No, it's you guys.
that's how I took it, honestly. I mean, I guess we will wait and see, but that's been the problem again with TKO. And you asked me a question before. So before we finalize your question, I'm also posing one too. It's like you look at TKO and I find one of their biggest things that they struggle with is the follow-up. They're great at making moments. The Seth Rollins, he isn't injured. The heel turn for Cena. They can do these things.
Right.
But then following it up and explaining why, or giving motivations or justifications to a character and having them develop further, it's like they just shit the bed with it time and time again. It's like they're drunk and forgot to go to the bathroom. They piss themselves and they just forget about it. There is so much that should be happening with Dom, his father. They should be setting things up. Like, I like, what Enemy Design said and saying like, oh, it was discussed at one point that he would beat his father and then go on to take his mask and be Prince Mysterio, basically retire him. That would be incredible. I know Ray doesn't have much longer, but what are they going to do? Make it a 2-week thing and it just happens? Like, all right, now he's feuding with Logan, sure. The point is they suck at the follow-up because they're just about the virality of it all. They want to make people buzz to generate revenue. They don't care about the follow-up because they got the impressions with the initial thing. So now you spend time waiting. You're waiting to see what happens. What does the story, continue as? How does it progress? What happens next? And you know what happens? Nothing. For months.
No.
And months and months. You think about the bloodline, you think about Judgment Day. They do not pull the trigger. They let things go and go and go. And they'll have moments in between. But when you could get these story arcs, these big changes, these big important developments, at least you went viral, right? The worst thing that went with John Cena, and I do agree, this marred the entire year. The biggest thing of TKO and any of this was placating to The Rock's ego. You can't tell me The Rock didn't set up this Mania shit intentionally. He was mad that he didn't get to face Roman last year, and out of spite, he fucked with their show. He brought John Cena out, turned him heel, and then didn't come back. I mean, literally, Rock got his revenge, essentially, is how I look at it. He's like, well, you fucked me out of Mania last year and having the match I wanted. Now, fuck you. And he fucked over John's retirement tour. They had no plan in place. Ari Emanuel wasn't even sending The Rock to Elimination Chamber because there were ticket issues. No. We started off the show with that. Spaz was in Toronto. The chamber was sold out and they opened up more seats. They added to Toronto. Then The Rock sold those seats. Yeah, but if you could even say that, the show was stacked with the chamber. They had Cena and Punk and it sold great to begin with. But now you have the angle, I need Cody's soul. It wasn't about John. It was about Cody and The Rock. So John coming out of it was this weird pivot, if you really think about it, because it didn't advance the story with The Rock or Cody like they were trying to. They just made a moment. And how did they capitalize on that moment between Rock, Cody, and Cena? You people 3 weeks later. They had no idea. They had no thought in place. They just wanted the moment. And it was a moment. Could be the moment of 2025, surely. Maybe even, the last few years. That was incredible to see John turn heel because we always said, what if? That was one of the biggest what ifs left in wrestling. But then, lo and behold, we got it. And, it's like looking a gift horse in the mouth. You don't know what you got till it's gone kind of thing. No one wanted to boo John. As fun as it would be he's the heel, I wish they did it then as him being the fun heel you like, not try to hate him. It should have been like a cool heel kind of thing. The tongue-in-cheek, fourth wall breaking. Him doing this really lackluster kind of, I'm mad at the audience, I need to go away with the title thing, just never once felt believable. Did it ever resonate with you at all, anything he said? Because we saw the opposite of it for so long. These were not the motivations to turn John heel. Am I crazy?
The Rock's soul.
Yeah, all of it. Like, yeah, why turn John heel at all? Like, what was the reason for him going heel? He won the chamber. He had the match at Mania. There was no desperation. There was no driving force or factor. It was just, I'm going to Mania to face Cody. Let's fuck him up. Because really, we never saw The Rock again. So did The Rock offer something to Cena? We don't know. Did all of these questions, all of these parameters, all of these what ifs, they did nothing with. They put it on John and told you he doesn't like you because you booed him. When all you've done is cheer and cheer and cheer for the last, 3 years at least? I think the last thing with John that really didn't work was the Austin Theory match at Mania, because he buried Austin Theory on the mic, and then when he beat him, everyone's like, huh? It just didn't fit. It's unfortunate, and it's frustrating because there's a bunch of good here. There really is. They have the best roster possibly ever when you really look at it. The most talented people are working in different ways now, so they're not overworked, so their careers are lasting longer. I think, yes, thank you again. I love this. I think yet again, they've managed to go ahead and really damage themselves with that as well. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but it's just the lack of everything gets me.
Right. I think personally, it's just a. Go ahead. You're breaking up, I think.
That better. Yeah, I said there's a lot of good here. There really is, but it gets weighed down by the constant need for bullshit and not following up on anything, not being consistent. You make a big deal to make people champs, and then we don't see them for months on end, or they ever defend the titles. You go ahead and even a simple thing last night in Raw with New Day. This has been a storyline with them grieving the loss of the tag titles for like fucking 4 months now, 5 months, since Grayson Waller became their side butt. He's their new butt piece. And we get into it, and what do we get? They lost. Time to move on. We're going to face the War Raiders that we haven't seen in ages. We're going to go right after the War Raiders. And then while we're at it, we're going to bring back Ivy Nile. And you wonder why Raw struggled. No CM Punk, no Cody, no Roman Reigns, no Brock Lesnar. They no AJ Lee, no Becky Lynch. They have for weeks programmed people into excitement for War Games. This is what Raw is, all the big names. And then we get this. No John Cena, no, there was, it just, the whole thing, unfortunately, was lacking. I genuinely want to see them succeed. I love wrestling. I always have. It's a very interesting narrative. It's got so many qualities and things that I enjoy. The entrances, the showmanship of it all, the Broadway-esque nature, the athleticism, the competition, the fandom. There's a lot to enjoy and dig into. But they are pricing us out of the fandom bit by bit here. They are making it impossible for us to enjoy them because they're making it impossible to watch because we can't afford it. We can't, and now you can't afford to see it. Then they're limiting more people because now you got to pay for ESPN. Milo's pissed about it. It's continued down that plane of existence here where they're going to just keep losing fans. They're going to keep pushing people past that point.
Well, that's going to be a them issue. They'll learn over time.
You can't kill the FedEx guy, all right? He's nice, I think. Telling you. Maxine Dupree, Ivy Nile is surely, the Enemy Design says, going to put everybody to sleep. Yeah. Who wants to see that? And then Maxine is being trained by Natalia Neidhart, the badass. The one that was the longest reigning women's or the multi-time women's champ, or the Rumble, the main event of the best prompt. What the fuck has Natalia been doing? What has she ever done?
I don't know.
That makes her this elite badass. 98% of the people in attendance last night had no idea Natalia's been wrestling outside of WWE. I guarantee it. And then only 1 out of the 2 remaining percent watched her compete in Bloodsport. They didn't showcase it on WWE TV. They didn't show it off. So why is she this insane badass? Did she ever come out and attack anybody? We haven't gotten matches. We haven't gotten exactly the bootleg Timu, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler. It's just the lack of care for each segment is astounding. And at least when there was a time where it's like, all right, but they're putting all their eggs into the bloodline basket, we don't even really have that. The vision doesn't make much sense. Their motivations have been all over the place. They're going to protect Seth. No, we're going to help you get the title. Now we hate you. You kept everybody down, even though we helped make you champion. Like it just, they didn't plan things. Oh, the injury got in the way. But this was before he got hurt. The vision was already a problem. I mean, you and I, we went through Raw last night, but we focused more on the incidentals of shit that just didn't make sense. But the opening was so self-aggrandizing. You have Io and Rhea out there recapping everything that we've seen. And then you get Charlotte and Alexa from SmackDown. So fuck the brand split from SmackDown. Fuck the brand split. Oh, I know. The GM got permission on the phone after. Whatever. Get rid of the brand split. We don't need it anymore. Whoever you have on Mondays and Fridays are fucking there. You show up and buy a ticket. So Char and Alexa come out and, oh, we didn't get our rematch. A lot of people didn't get their rematch. When you look, where is Gunther's rematch for the world title? He lost that at SummerSlam. It was Punk, and then Punk got cashed in on by Seth. Where's Gunther's built-in rematch? Why is he only in the tournament? That's the problem. I thought for a while they got rid of the guaranteed rematches, but then they brought it up on TV saying I never got my rematch with some of these. So it's like, ow. It shouldn't hurt your brain because you're trying to understand where they're going with this show.
Yep.
So the opening is just drivel. The faces want to fight each other to see who could face the Kabuki Warriors instead of being like, you know what? You'll get your rematch. We'll back you up. And if you don't win, then we'll take them on. But if you do, you got to give us a title match. Fine. Makes perfect sense. Why are the faces fighting to give the heels the advantage? It's just beyond anything logical. In that situation, would if I was Charlotte, granted, I was staring at Alexa's the entire time. No, all right, focus. If I was Charlotte, I'd be naked and no, if I was Charlotte, I'd be making sure my nips don't make it out on TV. I'm getting there. If I was Charlotte, I could have said so much. I couldn't trust you, I thought. I really thought that you were going to betray us. And now I feel horrifically guilty for not trusting you in the first place. We couldn't have been a team without you swallowing your pride and dealing with my bullshit. And for that, Rhea, I think nothing, none of it. No, she left the War Games team. She couldn't be on the team. Charlotte fucked off. She comes back because they're getting attacked. But that's the reason why you need to rejoin the team. That changed your mind. Them fighting with the other, they were already fighting. Like, so what happened? Did Rhea save Alexa? No. Did you save somebody and they saved you? No. They got attacked and you came out with a kendo stick.
Yep.
You had a 30-minute recap of Survivor Series. That's what this intro was, because then we got into Paul Heyman saying, I know nothing about the man in black. I'm clueless as I lose my voice more. And Braun Breaker and I need to talk to you. There's no surprise there. We already knew that Braun Breaker said if he won at Survivor Series, he wanted to be the one to challenge for the belt next. Okay, that's what happened. He's getting his title shot. Yeah. And we're supposed to give a shit.
I'm sorry if I keep ignoring, you keep cutting out, and people keep calling.
I see that on Discord. You're getting blown up here, and I do. I'm sorry, I saw that. That's why I was trying to just keep myself talking, so you wouldn't be stuck in La La Land. But yeah, no. these people have been going after you for a little bit now. You know, they're pretty pissed that we didn't line up with the live sentiment, which is ridiculous because it's a fandom thing that shouldn't be an issue. Whatever. Granted, people are just mad that if you don't have the same opinion they do, they just say you're irrelevant, and that's what I do respect about Into Somewhere. Excuse me. We're always open to any and all opinions, and we will tell gladly when we say something wrong or we get something wrong. Or I said, hey, you knew she was coming back. I played along with it for the bet and stuff, and I was like, well, maybe it doesn't happen. Fine, we'll make it fun for the show. But you were confident. You got trounced for that. No, that's not going to happen. She's not going to return. Then, oh, she's coming back every day at AAA, at the, you know. She came back at the biggest Survivor Series of all time. But these dumb fucks literally said she was going to come out for a YouTube stream of a AAA show.
Yeah.
They had her return at the biggest Survivor Series ever in John Cena's final pay-per-view match. But she was supposed to come back in a AAA contest, right? With max 400,000 people watching live.
Worlds Collide, remember?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's when she was supposed to come back, like, and it was a small arena too.
Yeah.
That's where she was at, like, on an 11 o'clock show. That one.
Jey Uso, I don't hate the man. There's a lot of blind and outrageous hate for him, but he has one of the worst spears in wrestling. He really does. He doesn't execute it well at all, and he doesn't have a great setup for it either. Him and LA Knight are in this tournament, and everyone's kind of fucked off with the tournament because you know Gunther's winning. So people just don't find that reason to invest in who's going to win it all when before the brackets were out, we've known that Gunther is his final opponent. I wish I could find the clip. I'm trying to look for it. That's what I was doing in the background. I thought I liked it and put it in the spot before, but it was the spear spot that happened last night. And I know LA Knight, he slipped up himself and they had some odd back and forth. But this is why I'm a bit tired of Jey and hoping that, he does continue changing and developing. Maybe if we do get this heel turn, it'll be something odd of him. Here we go. It says, I will literally give you $1,000 if you can show me a worse spear than this Jey Uso spear. And I got to be careful how I do this here. See, I've learned a few tricks with copyright. Just a few, not enough. But that's why we test things on shows like this. Look, we're going to grab that, and we're going to put that over there, and we're going to go like that. And then on the fly, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. There we go. And you see it start here, goes for the BFT, and I think it's like right about here. So he goes off the ropes after the super kick, right? Gets the super kick, bam, takes him down, runs off the ropes, and you can see right here, just does a body tackle for a spear. That's his spear. He jumped off and body tackled him. LA Knight was maybe on the wrong side. Maybe he wanted him on the other side, so he had to use his other shoulder. I don't know, but granted, Jey just body tackles him straight down. I mean, that was a spear to be all speared for. Look at that. There is no spear.
Ooh.
LA Knight starts to take it and just takes a flat back bump, but Jey just collides into him like he's running forward. That is not. Mad. And then Jey also got mad later on because LA Knight slipped. I saw trying to jump up on the ropes. But if you look at it from another angle again, you also see that Jey wasn't in entirely full position because he moved his foot right before he got up there. So he didn't have the brace for LA Knight. So it was a combination of the two of them not being able to, I guess, maneuver in such a way. But that spear was horrible. And then the ending, Jey could not get back. He was laying on LA Knight because he was in kind of like the wrong spot. So LA Knight is trying to get his shoulders down, but Jey has his shoulder on LA Knight's leg. So then LA Knight has to roll, put his legs behind him, and then get him up for the 3-count roll up. Help me make it sense, make it make sense.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
So Jey's having a hard time. and he's not resonating well with the fans. Of course, people live want to yeet. But they should be going with this. They should be pushing it. He had a tantrum. We'll see what happens, but we'll see. LA Knight, they've failed this guy 1,000 times. So him going this far in the tournament is almost worse than if he just lost the first round. You know? Because now you're building up false hope, and it's not making him look in a better light. If, he made it to the main event, the finals of this tournament. Yeah, but he lost. But he made it there. No one's going to remember that. They're going to remember that Gunther won. So this Friday on SmackDown, we'll get that. Bailey and Lyra just backstage to kind of argue with the Kabuki Warriors in one of the cringiest promos since before this had a cringy promo. This was awful. And Asuka was basically saying, like, at least I have a title, you don't. But if you two joined us instead of Lash and Nia, we would have won. No shit. Dom comes out and says, I beat the greatest of all time. I'm king of the luchadors, greatest IC champ. I couldn't have done it without everybody here. And then the person that helps me the most. And Liv comes out, says she's back. John didn't see her coming. And she said Cena would figure out the Judgment Day plan. So they decided to play an ace up their sleeve. He got back the two things Dom loves, the title and his girl. She said she missed Dom and the other members. She heard some things about the faction when she was gone. She heard the Judgment Day was weak, lost its gold, and was falling apart. But now I'm back and it all changes. And she said, we're coming back for everything that is ours. And she said, oh, and Dom, one more thing. And then she slaps him across the face and jumps in his arms. Like I said, it's got to be like a little kink thing, like you said, probably. But Dom likes it rough. Who would have thunk it?
Because people clipped that. He said, I love that after she slapped him.
I'm not saying she didn't deliver it well. I mean, really. That microscope would bother anyone if they had a broken part on Judgment. Fuck yeah.
Like, is that like tap? How did it look?
Well, here's the thing. Like this segment, not that it was bad, it wasn't poorly delivered, but it was just so lacking. This was really, really straightforward. Like just right back on the train. The caboose fell off, and we got a new one. That's it. Balor, Roxanne just standing there clapping, like not nervous or looking angry. No past issues matter at this point. You're not any drama, tension. No, nothing. Liv comes in, runs her mouth saying, you guys kind of suck, but I'm back, so I'll make it better. No, that's not a compliment or a negative. Okay. Then we get the video of Maxine training. People thought it was her and Jordan Grace. I shit you not. Multiple people said that. I said, nope, that's Natty. And like the old Enemy Design said, 17 years of having Natty be the gatekeeper to the women's division and title, making her the one to get, that fence for people to hop over to get to that upper echelon. So they had her with a farting gimmick, and then they made her the one to beat to move up in your career. And now we're supposed to care about her rip-off badass MMA Rousey gimmick.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here. I mean, I probably shouldn't call her. It's not her fault, but still, you fucking. Fucking Adam Pearce is sending his best man on the job, Eddie Oregano. That's right, smoking him up. He's sending Eddie Oregano out there, and Mr. Oregano, with no pizza to spare, says, I'm on it. I don't believe anything that Paul Heyman says, but we'll figure this out. Go get a survey of the locker room. And Oregano says, yes, sir. He wanted him to handle this quietly, discreetly, privately. Don't let anybody know what you're up to. Don't tell anybody. Don't insinuate that you're investigating the masked man that invaded the men's war games. They're so cautious that Adam Pearce looks around to make sure the coast is clear and say it quietly. And they even had Joe Tessitore bring up the fact that, hey, you know, he comments on what they said. So it's not one of those segments where like the announcers didn't hear it or it was only for the fan. No. Adam Pearce told DeRegano, go figure this out. But discreetly. What, live on fucking Netflix?
Yeah, we are. And are you okay, Jake?
Getting better.
Happy pills.
I'm out. Like I said 1,000 times, it's just, you're making my head hurt. Don't go get a survey of the locker room and find out who that masked man was. Go ask other people, but don't tell anybody while we're live. All right. Is your brain dead yet? Because if not,
Yes, it is.
then they run through the New Day that had been mourning those titles. No suspense. Never made you feel like they had a chance to lose those titles. And oh my God, we're not. No, nothing. They just get beat. The ending was great. Fucking loved the double stomp from Dragon Lee on Kofi, who then gets catapulted into a Styles Clash. So superbly fucking clean. Love it. Must suck to take because he really double stomped his back hard to get the spring and momentum enough to bounce into AJ's catch. But the precision, the orchestration of it all was fantastic. The way they set it up, was literally phenomenal. But that's the only part that got the audience. They barely were awake for most of this. They sat there listening to frickin' crickets.
Crickets, I tell you.
Crickets. And I don't know. Do I want the New Day as champs? No, but shouldn't they do so many more underhanded things to really try and get these back? Like they have literally mourned. They have been crying over not being tag team champions because that means so much to them. And they never defend the belts like Judgment Day. To the point where you just know they're going to lose. Okay.
You get it.
No follow-up from Nikki.
I'm sorry, I'm not being very talkative. I don't know why they're doing this to me.
They know you're live and they're blowing up your phone. That's why we got to get you on the computer and off your fucking mobile. That's the process we're working on. Stephanie talking to Jackie. She goes through all the bullshit with Liv. She's like, congratulations. But you know she's not being sincere. You know she's, all right, fine. So is that setting up her going to go to the Rumble and try and win the title? Is that setting up what people are saying is going to be the match on the 5th of January now? So we're going to get Stephanie versus Liv for the title at the January 5th anniversary Netflix show.
Ooh.
They're holding off a one-on-one match between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch until Mania. Are we still going to care 5 months from now? Got to get all the way to April. And AJ is going to be a thorn in Becky's side after she already cost her the title, cost her War Games.
I don't know if I'll be caring that much, my friend. I really don't.
Right? So all of these things. Liv is challenging, so Stephanie, you know, all right, you're doomed, and everybody else can fuck off. Right. Really, I thought Nikki had the best match of the night, you know, on Survivor Series. Her and Stephanie, they had the best wrestling match to me. So Braun Breaker's challenging Punk for the World Heavyweight title, January 5th. And our thoughts with Mr. Cookie Monster Punk and AJ Lee at this time, because Larry passed away.
Yeah.
We're very sorry. That's horrible. We find no solace in that, but we do appreciate knowing that you gave him the best life possible. He saw
Absolutely.
more sights than most people will ever see. He was taken everywhere and treated like a king. You gave him, they put out a beautiful, beautiful, tribute to him. And like they said, nothing I write, no pictures will ever do him justice. He lived a long, amazing life. He watched sunset and chased skateboards. So shout out to Dog Heaven. Absolutely. I forget the name of this
It's very
skit.
devastating because
Yeah.
CM Punk, how much that dog meant to him, and
His jacket
know,
at Survivor
that's just sad
Series
stuff.
said Larry's dad on it. Like, that's how he came to be in the match. So, and especially our furry friends, it's even more devastating at times. So, especially, I agree with how, Paul put it before very succinctly, but it's true. Because they don't cause agitation and frustration, they're all just bundles of love and joy. That's all you feel. That's why it hurts so much, because it's just all good with the animal, and it's not, there's no contention, it's just they love you, they're obedient, and they want to give you smiles. How do you
Yep.
how do you not have that become a full heartbreak? So yeah, the Vision comes out. Braun Breaker, he cut a very good promo. I said it was probably one of the better promos he's cut. I just didn't love it. I may be, a bit naive to say that, but I know he'll get better. It was good. I just don't think it was great yet. I don't think it was as amazing as everybody else did. He still flubbed a few lines. He went ahead and ripping off his jacket. He showed good emotion and intensity. I didn't realize that Logan caught the mic that he spiked. I thought Logan just grabbed it and went, oh, afterwards. But, I mean, they're going to start out the new year with a PLE match that's on Raw. We're going to get Braun Breaker taking on CM Punk for the world title. Problem is that I'm not excited about is the fact that he's part of the Vision doing this. So do we get all this bullshit interference with Logan and fucking Bronson Reed? Why is Bronson Reed so willing to help Braun Breaker become champion and not himself? What does he get out of it? Why is he cool with Logan being in there? Now Logan wants to go for the IC title. Like, the Vision, they should have all broken up and could have just had Paul Heyman stay with Braun Breaker. There you go. And then Braun and fucking Seth could have feuded and say la vie. Because this feels like you just can't overthink it. You can't even think it. It's
never
just
think anything this creative team does.
Then
Sesame Street Levesque all the way.
right. Can you tell me how to get to Cody's Clues? So then, in our wonderful Sesame Street entertaining segment, we had the match of Gunther and Solo. It ended well, but it was basically a slow chop fest with a few big moments. But they crammed in 6 commercial breaks. 6 for this entire segment. A 19-minute match before and after had 6 fucking commercial spots in it. I mean, what the fuck? How is that? And you have people doing this on Netflix who are paying to not have ads on Netflix. That's what's even more baffling. No, it was not a bad match by any means, but it wasn't great. Gunther brought Solo to a good competitive outing. It had a decent ending with the powerbomb pinning Solo, but some people said it exceeded expectations, and I think that's true because I expected even lower from it, especially because Solo is useless. And then we had the women's main event. And I told you the moment they made it, they're not going to have a team win. It'll likely lead to them being attacked by the Kabuki Warriors, a no contest or DQ. And then from there, we get what?
Yep.
A triple threat for the titles? Well, now it may be a bit more than that because we got Rio, as a team. We've got the Kabuki Warriors. We've got Alexa and Charlotte, but then we also have Raquel and Roxanne. They get in the ring, Liv and them take everybody out. Liv gets the belts, and she hands it to Roxanne, and Raquel, Roxanne tries to hand it to her. She gives it back, says, no, you earned it or you deserved it. And that was it. The main event was fun, but I never got into it because I knew the cheap finish was coming. And I knew they weren't going to give us an actual number one contender. So this was the entire fallout of Survivor Series. And granted, Survivor Series didn't have a bunch of entanglements and stories and things to invest with in the long term, but we didn't move anywhere forward, at least not yet. The Vision is where they were. Braun Breaker was already getting that title match regardless of pinning Punk because that's how they set it up before War Games. Then the New Day loses. We got them now. You know, AJ and Dragon Lee defending against the War Raiders. Maxine and Ivy Nile. Just a lot of it. Dom has no new feud set up to face anybody at this time. Maybe Chad Gable will come back and give him a run for his money, but the two last time is now semifinal matches weren't bad by any means, but they weren't great either. And it's upsetting that LA Knight is going to get screwed over once again. Yeah, Pharaoh should induct Larry into the Hall of Fame. That'd be sweet, wouldn't it? I'm not being hypercritical because I want to nitpick things. I just want it to make sense. When you think about something small and you're like, well, that doesn't, and then it just keeps on going, keeps spreading out new seeds and everything's just sprouting. How can you get away from it when the entire show is just kind of running on empty? They feel, and Christmas time is usually when they do rein in the creativeness and they do a lot of like what feels like house show or tape segments. They give them time to be away for the holidays, so they record shows ahead of time. We get spoilers, and never usually like the strong point of the year, but don't just make it make sense. Like you said, sir, make it exciting. I hope they don't use Larry, at all. That would be unnecessary. If they want to pay tribute, sure, show your respects, but don't turn it into an angle. Doesn't need to be done. Granted. Yeah, that's why we gave this Raw such low scores. I think I was down to like a 3.5. You were at a 0, sir, as you're still being flooded with calls. My God. That's why I use the Google Voice line, because then you could just hit filter and any no spam calls or spam calls, things like that. No caller ID. You go to the pound town zone.
Right now, I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, I guess. I don't know if that will work, though. I don't think that's working, but you have that option on your Android, right? Yeah,
you could put on airplane mode and then just turn the Wi-Fi back on. I don't know if that'll get your calls back, though, if it's just a service or if you're set up to get calls through the service. We have NXT Deadline coming up this Saturday in San Antonio, Texas at the Boeing Center at Techport. We'll be live following that PLE to go ahead and break it all down. We got Ricky Saints taking on Obafemi for the NXT title. Javon, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, and Miles Bourne in the men's Iron Survivor Challenge match. For a new championship match at New Year's Evil, Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Kendall Gray doing it on the women's side for their Iron Survivor Challenge. Going to be a hell of a freaking weekend. So it starts at 7 Eastern this upcoming Saturday. And this Wednesday, we'll have our predictions as well as our NXT review. We won't have it live tonight, but we will be live tomorrow into Somewhere Weekly, where we discuss Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, and Miles Bourne taking on Dark State in an 8-man tag match before they get to the Iron Survivor Challenge. And then we have all the ladies in an Iron Survivor Summit. Tavon Heights is taking on Josh Briggs. So should be a damn good night tonight, and we'll be covering all of it tomorrow. Next week on Raw, we have the pretty much the final. The tournament winner will appear days before facing John Cena on that Monday to talk. So after the match on Friday, they'll cut a promo on Monday. We have AJ and Dragon Lee taking on the War Raiders, and then Rey Mysterio taking on Finn Balor. So We'll see what happens then.
Exciting. My apologies for not getting a lot out today.
Hey, no need to, my friend. You certainly made your points clear, because the only thing we know about this Friday is that it's Gunther and LA Knight in the final of the Last Time Is Now tournament. I don't know. Imagine they surprise us, let LA Knight win, and then he beats Cena, and this elevates him to taking the title. Holy shit, that'd be fun. But I just don't see it happening. I mean, doing a TNA review January 15th. Yes, we will be doing a live TNA review, at least for their debut, on January 15th. So we talked about that briefly earlier, but they're going to be on AMC, home of The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, tons of great movies. They're in good company there, so hopefully it gets them a pretty decent audience off the bat. I like that it's on Thursdays. They're not going up against AEW and you know, obviously you don't want to cannibalize yourself with WWE programming. They've been doing well on Thursdays. Got wrestling on every night of the week, so never not busy. But yes, we'll be live at least for the first one and see how it goes from there. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's exciting, and they're the ones, as I said, that prepared themselves well. They are working hard to go ahead and, as much as they can, deliver. So I hope that TNA doesn't lull TNA themselves. I really, really, really do hope that they manage to make some damn good TV, and then from there we'll have a great time. And a week before that, at that Raw and Netflix anniversary show is when we're supposed to be unveiling the Masked Attacker from the Survivor Series main event. So we have to wait another month, to find out who was under the mask when we already know it's Austin Theory. That's and I know it's smart in a way to play up on, oh, it could be Seth. He lied about being on crutches. But see, that's what screwed up everything, with him going ahead and faking that injury and feigning being hurt to the extent that he did with the crutches and, you know, pictures online and stuff, without any justification or real need for it, has everyone questioning every injury that happens now. Soul hurts her knee. Oh, she must be, you know, not actually injured. One of the funny ones is that people are saying Penta didn't want to do the job to Solo, as he was supposed to lose, apparently. So he said he was injured to get out of it. Penta's put people over before. He's lost quite a few times, so that's bullshit as well, as we know. But it's just a matter of, hey, work on your shit, because your fans are not going to be paying top dollar forever for this garbage.
Exactly.
I mean, things are still hot, but they're not hot enough to keep us going. Speaking of keeping going, this Monday night, we're going to be stopping by Liz's birthday stream. She's going to be hosting that on twitch.tv/DJAnime2016. So Monday the 8th over on her Twitch, hop on in, say hello, say happy birthday. And she wants to celebrate with all of us that supported her this year. So thank you to her again for this amazing gift. I love it. It's so warm. And my wife said I'm sexy, so that's all that matters. And we'll have a great time for your birthday. Yes, indeed. So if anybody wants to join us on Twitch this upcoming Monday night, please do so before the Raw review. I'll remind you all before that. But any other final thoughts, my friend? I wish they weren't in this state.
I think I'm good for now. Yeah.
I think we just need to argue with more of the Liv fans. I mean, we've been called irrelevant. We've been called morons, and we've also, what did they write there? Nuggets? Is that what that says? Nugget?
Maybe.
The fuck is a nugget?
I don't know.
Well, apparently we're a bunch of nuggets. So well said. Thank you, folks. Glad to have, you know, had such a interesting and storied conversation, us nuggets. Granted, yeah, you are handsome, Coot. We know that. Or else I wouldn't have a time-traveling lawyer if he was ugly. Gotta keep it staying sexy here. That's right, into somewhere. It's only the sexiest of employees and maybe a few interns. Cody, thank you so very much for hanging out with us today. I'm sorry that your phone has been blowing up nonstop. let these lovely people know where they could find you.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day. Or you can find me over on my YouTube once I get the PC monitor running and all that, the whole 9 yards. We'll get some gaming content for real this time. And you can find me over on my Instagram, no longer a Judgment Day page, chill, at Cody_Onidi_316.
That's right, 316.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
We will be live again tomorrow night into Somewhere Weekly, where we'll have predictions for WWE's NXT Deadline show this Saturday, which will also be live for the review then too. So make sure you're subscribed, hitting the like button, tuned in. For those of you not in the know, follow us on Twitter at Countdown Ended. And that's the same on Instagram and Rumble. You can go ahead and find us on TikTok at jake.countdownended and check us out on Spotify using the hashtag Into Somewhere. Thank you to vidIQ. And as always, thank you to XSplit for, powering and supercharging our YouTube channel. Use code BANANA for 20% off XSplit Premium, or go ahead and go to vidiq.com/Into Somewhere for your discount over there. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I hope you all stay sexy. Have a great day. Try and stay dry if you're dealing with the rain. Stay warm. And until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Stay sexy.
In the somewhere where we break it down. CM Punk, John Cena tearing up the town.